Well. Another year, another commentary. Hello, I'm Kerry Shawcross. I am, in general, I'm the showrunner. On this episode, I'm the director and one of the co-writers.
And hi, folks. My name is Miles Luna, joining you on this episode. I am one of the co-writers on RWBY Volume 7, and I also voice a little noodle boy named Jean Arc.
I forgot this was Volume 7 for a second.
Yeah, hey, bud. Yeah, we're in a different time right now. Let's talk about that right off the bat.
It is April 2020.
Yeah.
And in 30 years from now, that may not mean anything to you. Hopefully it doesn't, actually. But to now, we are in quarantine.
We're in the middle of quarantine.
We are working from home as a company, largely as a nation.
Thanks to this little thing called COVID-19.
As a people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this commentary is going to be a little unique. We're not in the same room. I've been lying to them. I'm not even in the same state anymore.
Yeah, I miss your musk, Kerry.
Yeah. I'll send you a bottle.
Thank you.
I think I have to get a permit, though.
Oh, Lord.
So yeah, one of the main reasons I mentioned that is I'm sure that there are going to be portions of this that might not be the best audio quality you've ever heard on a commentary. I'm sorry, but I hope that, having the commentary is makes up for that, because it was basically our options were don't have the commentary or have maybe subpar audio. So thank you in advance for bearing with us. We just couldn't imagine not doing this on the disc.
Yeah, but now let's talk about RWBY. Let's talk about this other world that isn't ours and is way cooler.
This dystopia. And not the current one we're in.
We finally made it to Atlas after so many years of praying that people weren't going to figure out that it's a floating city in the sky.
And praying that the show would still be around long enough for us to get to Atlas.
Holy cow. This season picks up immediately where Volume 6 left off, partly because a large portion of this episode was originally intended to be in Volume 6.
Yeah, we honestly at this point I don't even remember why. I think I remember it being a story thing that it just felt a little bit better.
Yeah, because part of us thought it would be cool to end on this note of originally Volume 6 was going to end with Penny.
That's right.
Being revealed, dealing with the Grimm, and ending on Salutations.
The ultimate cliffhanger.
Yeah, hype cliffhanger that would hopefully be on a good note. And we ended up going with the more menacing approach to Atlas, and leaving it on a note of uncertainty. Unfortunately, that ended up that beat was always in Volume 6, and fortunately it ended. We realized that we had a natural end point in that moment, and we could save the rest.
And I mean, honestly, everything in this episode up until that Penny moment is pretty similar to what it was. When it was going to be in Volume 6. I think we tweaked a couple things, but it was pretty similar.
I did a pass of this, and then you came in, prettied up, and we added in the cool fight sequence, and
yeah, basically, I think I did the back half, right?
Yeah, and you brought in the Aesops, which is so fun. I forgot. I tried not to swear on RWBY commentary. I almost did it. I almost dropped a bad one.
Oh, you almost did it. We said it's okay.
Can we talk a little bit about? I would love to talk a bit about Mantle and Atlas.
Yeah, I will say that was the production reason. Sorry,
that's right.
But I don't want to say that is certainly not what caused us to do it. It was better for the story. We also knew that it would give us the time to do justice to Mantle and Atlas.
Yeah, we didn't want to
rush it. Yeah, so that was a big. Sorry, I just want to jump in with that.
No, yeah. Because we always kind of imagined Mantle being a little more Blade Runner, function over fashion, very utilitarian looking future city. And then Atlas, the city in the clouds, looks like it was made by Apple. It's very sleek, it's very pretty, it's very pristine. Both futuristic looking cities, but two different flavors of it. And two flavors that we both think are cool and fun.
One kind of had the technology faceted onto it, while the other had it built around it.
Yeah.
And in general, too, a lot of inspiration came from... I'm sure we talked about this somewhere else. I don't remember now, but when we were kind of thinking of the four kingdoms, we kind of in our heads kind of were comparing them to other parts of our world, and Atlas and Mantle were always kind of the Americas to us, or America in general. Just two different versions of it. Oh, I have to talk about this.
Please do.
So these were these two characters that we had in the script because we wanted to have the faces of Mantle. The one speaking right now is directly based off of Joel Mann, our animation director, and the other is Dustin Matthews, one of the episode directors, and who's formerly one of the lead animators. Just because we just wanted to sneak them in here, and it was kind of like a fun. Honestly, the whole thing started because we named the character that was talking mainly through that. We named him Drunk Man, and anytime Joel hears the word man, he turns into a pun of his name. So then I changed in the script to Joel Man with two N's, like he spells his last name, and then it just kind of went from there. But we all affectionately called Dustin characters Grape Coon, is what Aaron Wynn dubbed him.
And finally, we meet Pietro Polendina.
It's been so long. This is the second time you've all seen him. Can you guess where the first one happened?
No.
Oh, it was in Volume 3.
You saw his hand do the Arthur aardvark anime clench.
Yeah, we wanted to see the effects of Penny's death around the world, and we got in just a little bit of his arm. And it's been a while since then, and now we finally get to see him. He's so wholesome.
Pietro's a really fun character because we didn't want to necessarily, like, the whole kind of kooky doctor character is one that gets done a lot because it's a really fun character. And the thing that we tried to play with, like, around the time we were writing this, Genlock had come out, I think, if I'm getting my timeline right, and Dr. Weller is another kind of kooky sort of scientist character that we didn't want him to be too close to, so we sort of treated Pietro kind of like a big kid. And we really got into that with, he's very forgetful. He has his little pet projects, like the shoes that make you dance. Like, someone who we could imagine, like, Penny, who's very naive and wholesome and playful, where she would get a lot of her sort of attitude from.
Yeah, I like that it has extra justification for Penny. It's not just that Penny is, technically only like 3 years old, or however it is. Please don't quote me on that. But it's also based on his personality.
Yeah. I also love our old characters being buds.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We keep collecting old characters, and I kind of love it. And I kind of want to do a show that's just about old characters.
One of the challenges of this volume, because this was definitely at the time probably one of the most difficult volumes we've ever tried to tackle. And although you and I are.
He is saying that because we've written Volume 8, and we know that one was actually the most difficult now.
Oh, God. Wait until the Volume 8 commentary. But, gosh, I hope people like it. Anyways.
Brought to you by Jack Daniels.
Oh, goodness. Although Kerry and I are the only ones present on this commentary, in case you aren't aware, this was the first volume that wasn't just written by the two of us. Kiersey Burkhardt and Eddie Rivas joined the writing team, and I promise you, this volume would not have been able to happen without them. They brought so much life and energy and just amazing creativity to the story, and oh my God, we're so happy to have them as part of the team. And you'll be hearing them later on in these episodes.
It absolutely. The thing I would say is it would have happened, and it would not have been anywhere near as good.
Yeah,
because we would have made something. Miles and I would have made something.
Sure.
And they came in and made it an amazing thing.
So what was an interesting challenge for this episode was making it clear, obviously Atlas is a new place for our audience and some of our characters, but it's a familiar place for several of our characters. The challenge that we had establishing was that for characters that come from here, who have been here before, like Weiss or Maria, that this place is different than what they remember. Because when we spent time with Weiss in Atlas in Volume 4, we never left the Schnee Manor. Partly because we wanted to, really lean into this idea of some, like, entrapment. Although I think they did have that one, I forgot they had the one party where Weiss was awesome and told people off. But,
still the manor.
We also didn't want to, like, show off that it was a city floating in the sky. So, it was hard because we didn't want the audience to think that this is what Atlas and Mantle is always like. And so seeing the doubt and confusion on a lot of their faces was something that we really needed to make sure we honed in on a little bit as we start to sample life in this new old kingdom.
Yeah, it was that has been one of the things that we've tried to hold on to the most in this series, is the idea that Atlas is this floating city. Every World of Remnant, every mention of Atlas up to this point has all been carefully worded as to avoid it.
What's it like up there? Oh, you
exactly.
mean north?
That was us trying to be clever. I think it was you, and also I'll say it was successfully being clever, of being able to say it without saying it. Shout out to both the animation team, who did an amazing job on it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody all the time. I love this fight so much because it was, we had this a little bit in Volume 6 as well, where there's this little bit of, okay, it's the first episode. No one's gonna die. You know, like, there's a little bit of
it's a fun
let's
fight
just have
and
fun.
not a tense fight.
Yes. So it gave everybody a chance to, like, you know, just have some fun. But one thing I want to talk about too is the ice treatment we did for the Grimm, where it was just kind of an idea we had to make. You know, we always try and theme our Grimm a little bit, and you'll notice as you go through the season that, you know, these are all very like you know, extinct animal, icy climate kind of Ice Age kind of creatures. So I thought one thing we wanted to do is have this idea that, you know, they're around for so long, or they're so adapted that they do have this like icy tinge to them. It doesn't necessarily make them more powerful. It's just you know, it was a way for us to get to spice things up a little bit without having to reinvent the wheel.
It's fun getting to play with the Grimm. I always think of them like wild Pokemon, because there's some Grimm that will pretty much pop up in every biome in the world, but then there are others that are more specific. If you've read the After the Fall novel, which I highly recommend you do, and Before the Dawn, there's a few very vacuo-specific Grimm that make appearances in those stories. And same with Atlas. We wanted to, you know, we've said in previous World of Remnant stuff, you know, one of the reasons that Atlas did well is because not all the Grimm could survive the harsh climates without humans' ability to make fire and warm themselves and stuff. But we also like the idea that Salem kind of gets wise to that and works on maybe making some specific Grimm that can handle it better, stuff like that. Oh, it's the most wholesomest of wholesome moments. Yeah,
this was, I can't remember whose idea it was, so I'm just going to assume it was mine. But basically, like, letting people know immediately that, like, this is Penny.
Yeah. We had, and I remember there was a discussion that we went through for a while of, like, what does Penny 2.0 look like? Obviously, we always knew she was going to come back from the top, but we had never really settled on if it was going to be the same Penny or a clone or 2.0 or whatever. And we had a lot of talks about what to do. And with so much stuff going on this volume and so many other conflicts happening, we didn't feel as though having an additional conflict of, like, Penny not having her memories, or Ruby trying to, like, be friends with someone who doesn't remember her. Like, it was all really cool ideas, and we played in some of those places for a while. Yeah. But ultimately, with the amount of stuff that needed to happen in this volume, which was already just busting at the seams with ideas and plot points and stuff, we felt like we wouldn't have been able to do it in a way that felt good, that, you know, didn't feel rushed or something.
I also, you know, one thing I think about is just, like, I like that we were, at least hopefully, able to give the audience an immediate, you know, satisfaction feeling. We didn't bring her back to then make you wait to feel like she came back again. I think that was kind of the other reason we leaned that way, was just it just let's just give everybody a nice moment, you know.
It also goes a long way in the impression that Atlas gives off. Obviously, the immediate one is, ooh, this is scary, this is hyper-militarized, this doesn't look normal. Ironwood seems off, Winter seems to be sided with him. But then you introduce Penny, and Penny seems fine, and Penny seems happy for them to be here. Then now we have the Aesops, who seem pretty, you know, excited to do some stuff. They seem like cool dudes, but they're clearly working against our antagonists our protagonists right now. The level of trust and comfort in the Kingdom of Atlas, as well as Ironwood and the people who work for him, was a constant sort of balancing act throughout this volume, to lead towards an eventual tipping point. That every step of the way we're asking ourselves, okay, how does Atlas / Ironwood feel right now? Are we feeling good about them? Does it seem too obvious that Ironwood is going to go bad, or does it seem like it would be completely out of the blue for him to go bad at this point? Like, constant balancing throughout almost every episode.
It was definitely we do this every season, every episode, but it was one of the we did so much to just try and map out what do we want the audience to feel right now. We know they're going to feel this way. They're going to come in with these doubts. Let's give them something to feel good about. Let's get something to still keep that kind of on their toes. I'm really happy with this episode. I think it was a great start to what's going to be, I think, a really great season.
Yeah.
Of course, they're in jail though. So,